All thoughts are connected, like water is connected. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to imagine your mind is a pond. Your pond is calm and is located near the sea on low-lying land. When your life begins, this pond is full of crystal clear water. Now your pond is always full, but can cope with any amount of water, as it discards automatically any excess. Your thoughts are the water in the pond, and are all connected as water is. There's a stream of water flowing into your pond. This is the experiences that are coming to you. This is not necessarily fresh water. It is just water, which at an early age you don't know whether it is polluted or fresh. There's also people who are in your life coming along and putting water into your pond. Some of this water is good, fresh water, and some of it is dirty. For the first few years of your life, you don't know what the water is, as you have no control over what water is added to your pond. Also, as you grew up, you could choose other water to be poured into your pond. You can imagine this to be fresh water if you like, because you wouldn't be consciously putting bad water into your pond. However, you don't know it was fresh water. But all of this water just comes into your pond, and because you have no natural filtration system, no thinking system, it just mixes around with the original fresh water that was in there. Now imagine your pond has been there for a long time, as long as you've been alive. All of your experiences have flowed and been poured into your pond and mixed with all the water that's already there. How does this water look to you? So is it easy for you to imagine that right now your pond is full of some pretty dirty water? Would you want to drink from that water? Well, your life is and will be made up by you drinking your thoughts from that water. Just think about it this way. When you make your very next life-changing decision, you should be aware that, in fact, you are not making it from sound, clear water thinking, but instead your life-changing decisions are coming from muddy, polluted water. Now, as you've aged, the water has been getting more and more polluted, and in some parts of the pond, maybe around the edges, you can see the water is stagnant and truly undrinkable. But even the water near the centre of your pond is now pretty dirty water. Not as bad as the nasty stagnant bits maybe, but all the water is now dirty, as of course it is all connected. And remember, you have to drink from it. It's your source of life. There's nowhere else to drink from after all. They are your thoughts, and your thoughts result in your life. So you are drinking from this dirty pond and your life is the result. But what about if you cleaned some of that dirty water and made it fresh to drink? Would that help? What about if you poured into your pond some of the cleanest, purest water you could ever find? Would that make your water fresh again? Of course not, because it is all connected to the dirty water. So if you clean it, then as soon as you pour clean water in, it is quickly or instantly polluted again. Well, this explains exactly why people don't succeed. They are cleaning or adding in fresh water to a dirty pond of water. Then when they turn around, it is polluted again. Now, to think you could clean dirty water by adding in fresh water is of course insanity. But then if the entire world was attempting to do it this way, then it would appear to be sane, wouldn't it? How's my analogy working for you so far? You cannot deal with dirty water in isolation. You have to deal with all the dirty water in an all-encompassing way to clean it. Obvious really, isn't it? Yet before the end of the day, no doubt the virus in your mind will have you convincing yourself to add in more fresh water before you clean it. If you doubt this, or you can hold it off for a few days, then it will only be for a few days, as you will return to this pattern as the entire human race is doing it this way. Now, we all still have our natural water filter. It is just more effective on some people in some areas of their lives than it is on others. And this goes for every different area of life. So we all have this filter for every area of life, and all areas are connected, as water and thoughts are all connected. As the saying goes, lucky in love and unlucky with money. But in some areas, we seem to have some natural filtering for that area of the pond. Some of the natural filters work well, some work poorly, some don't work at all, and some work well enough to not cause us a big problem. Someone who still has their natural filter working well in a particular area is considered to be a success in that area of life. The success is made up of three elements: water filtering ability, the amount of water from that area of interest, and the amount of time spent nurturing that water. But if you don't have a water filter to bring structure to your water supply, then the water is unpurified, and when you drink from it, you fail. You and the 99.999% of the world have chaos going on in your water supply. You are pouring clean, fresh water into your dirty pond and wondering why you're not getting the results of clean, fresh water to drink. But it's obvious when you look at it that there is no clean water as it pours into the dirty water and gets instantly polluted. Now, the reason why what I teach is so very different to any other system for thinking out there is that it deals with cleaning all of the water in one go. It is an all-encompassing system. So when you've done it, you have a fresh water supply to think with. And then I give you a way to continuously apply the techniques to maintain your water supply for the rest of your life. Because think about it, what would happen to your water supply if you cleaned it all at once and then left it to fend for itself? How long would it be before it was filthy dirty again? Why do you think swimming pools have to be maintained regularly? Because they get polluted. Your pond needs tending to ensure it remains full of fresh water. Now let's look at the problem of our lives are not static. Nothing stands still. So let's say you think, well, I'll learn this system for thinking, I'll clean my pond, then I can maintain that supply now that the water's all clean. So I don't need to do any regular maintenance to the water. But now, just imagine for a second, a tsunami comes along and washes over all of your pond and fills it up with some polluted water. Where did the tsunami come from? Well, your pond's next to the sea, remember? Life has its way of serving up tsunamis when you're least expecting them. E.g., a personal tragedy. Your partner's walked out, you failed an exam, you didn't get the job, you got laid off. Any of those and 1,000 more are tsunami thoughts that mess up the balance and your water needs to be cleaned again. But with a thinking system, the tsunami strikes, and as it rescinds in just moments, your structured thinking system is already cleaning the polluted water for you. What's more, you can actually watch without pain and see this system at work, cleaning your water, cleaning your thoughts. This is why educating yourself before having a structured thinking system is doomed to failure. However, when you have one, then of course anything and everything can work. A structured system of thought means you automatically clean your water. And cleaning the water, your thoughts, only works if all the water is cleaned at once in an all-encompassing way, and you have a structured system to keep the water clean. What you, and in fact the entire world needs, is the structure that will allow you to clean the water and gradually clean all of the pond. When you have finished, your mind is going to be full of pure water, just the same as when you were a child and your head was full of pure water. That is what separates what I do from every other success mindset system there is. This is why you really can change and get the life you desire, because you get a new structured way of thinking, which will ensure you get what you want in the same way as you got what you wanted when you learnt to walk. The problem in the world is one of unconscious thought. This is a big subject, but basically, a simplified version is unconscious thought is a person starts their life and has pure fresh water in their pond. As they go through their life, their pond becomes undrinkable by their mid-30s and very toxic by their 50s. Every person is different though, so don't take those guides as read. Basically, the pond gets dirtier and dirtier as they age. This is borne out in sayings like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Then what goes wrong is this. A person's life is created by their thoughts, so they have a situation come up, they push it around in the clear fresh water of their mind. Oh no, wait, they don't. They push it through the muddy bog of their mind. Then they make a decision based on what the mud has told them to do. However, they don't think they've made a bad decision. And hey, maybe they haven't, as every once in a while you win when you gamble. But they think their decision was made with crystal clear thinking, using their crystal clear mind. They don't know they are not making rational decisions because they don't know their thoughts are not clear, fresh water, but instead are mud. This is therefore just part of unconscious thinking, and it is why the world is in so much trouble. Just for a second, imagine a world where everyone could filter their minds back to clear, fresh water, instead of the world we live in, where decisions are made by all people whose minds look like this. So which person are you? As for some people watching this, then it will come across as a revelation, as it will become crystal clear why they have not succeeded in whatever they have tried to do. Some people will think they already know all of this, as they have heard people explain this sort of thing before. But if those people are not living the successful lives they wanted to, then they probably only know it on an intellectual level. And what they need to do is get it on a much deeper level where it can change their lives, so that instead of trying to succeed, they just succeed. Some people will think, well, it's a nice theory. But to be honest, they'll probably be thinking that cleaning their whole mind is an insurmountable problem. And so will then decide instead to do no research and continue to accept that success is to be pursued elsewhere. And hey, who am I to say they are wrong? I can only point out the problem and point out where the solution lies. They have to decide whether they want to look a little deeper past the intellectual level of knowing. As success lies in the application level, not the understanding level. As all people age, success becomes less and less likely, because their minds become more and more polluted, especially because they know many things on an intellectual level. They may not be able to apply it, but they can talk about it very well. The answer is, of course, to clean their minds and then provide a filter for it to keep it clean, so that whatever course, whatever book, or whatever system to get rich, find the perfect partner, pass exams, whatever it is, simply becomes easy for them to absorb. And that's why I created the bug-free mind system, for living on purpose instead of living by accident. My system makes it possible for other people's systems to work for people. Over the next few years, I will be helping out many self-improvement authors, as my system makes it easy for their students to get the results, which of course makes them look even better, because all they want is their students to have success. That's what we all want as personal development teachers. We want people to have success. And it frustrates people when they can't achieve that success. And for no reason, because they know their systems work. So what a bug-free mind does is help people absorb other people's systems. It simply makes it easy for their students to get the results. To explain what I mean, when I first read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which was the very first book on success I read, I was already worth around $10 million and very successful in a lot of things in life. I was amazed by this book. Here it is, the answer to success. This is fantastic, I thought. It must be that no one has read it, which must be why so few people are achieving success. Then after reading it, people came up to me for months afterwards and said, Andy, please teach me your system for making money. And I said, hey, there's no need. It's written here in this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Just buy that book and you'll see what I mean. I then read Think and Grow Rich, and I discovered the system was in there too. So I told people, just read that and apply it. I couldn't get over the fact that I had gone and created my own success, yet the system had been openly written down in these and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other books. But then I discovered that others were reading these books and not succeeding. Hey, what was going on? Their systems worked. I'd read those books. I know those systems worked. The material they shared was simply fantastic. So why couldn't people make it work? I became fascinated about this. Why could I succeed and why couldn't others? Eventually, I understood about the pond analogy and how your mind is the pond and your thoughts are the water in it, and that they are all connected, and if unstructured and without a filter, then they are chaotic. So once I realised why people couldn't succeed, then it was easy for me to create a system which could get them back to crystal clear thinking, effectively giving them back their natural success guidance system. After all, they all naturally had it. They just needed the mud removed from their life so they could use it again. And then once there, I thought I'd give them a system for using their own natural success guidance system on purpose and not live by accident instead anymore. So that with this system, they really could use it to get anything and everything they want to. Together, these two systems form a complete process, which filters the mind for them for as long as they wish to remain naturally successful. Now, what the rest of this page below will do is go into much more detail about this system and explain exactly how all of its benefits will actually work for you in your life. I know you're going to love what you discover here on this page, and if you like what you see, then I look forward to welcoming you to a new way of thinking that teaches you today how to have and maintain a bug-free mind for the rest of your life.